Aloha, everybody. This is Cathy Bilsky, the Quantum Leap, Let Light Unite. And this is Friday, October 25th, 2024. Um, okay, before I really start, just make sure. Oh, there we go. All right, we are live. Have to do some changing. No, there we go. Edit privacy. Public. Done. All right, and so we're not going to be disturbed. I think I will shut the phone off. Ooh, what a concept. All right, so today I wanted to talk about mental illness and energy work. And I want to say that, my God, if you're going through somebody who has a mental illness, whether it's manic, they are insane, bipolar, it is hard. It is an epidemic. Many people are experiencing this. I know I have recently and am going through knowing someone who's very manic. I would say borderline insane, but that's just me. And it's a roller coaster ride. You know, what do you do when police won't do anything? Hospitals won't do anything. The psychiatric hospitals will only keep them for so long and then they throw them back out in the street. So where do you go? Well, for me, all there's left is energy work. So last time I talked to you about this, I talked to you about using the violet flame. And I'm going to read to you quickly what the violet flame is. It's actually one of the most powerful energies you can work with. It's a high frequency energy that can penetrate your nervous system, your heart, your brain to increase stamina, longevity, and your extrasensory perception. The spiritual fire can change inharmonious thoughts and feelings, stress, anger, depression into a positive and centered disposition. And it can increase your mental clarity and help you deal with long-term effects of drugs. Remember that, okay? The violet flame will cleanse your system of emotional and physical poisons. It will transmute your negative karma. It will erase the cause behind the effect of some disease. It will even clear the distressing record of past lives. And it'll make you happy with yourself. Well, one of the things I started doing, and guys, there are no books on this, how to help people with energy that are mentally challenged. Nobody's written the book. So this is trial and error, and you have to pay attention. Now, I want to tell you a short story about the violet flame, which I actually used. And I did this, oh my God, lifetimes ago when I was very, very young. I was smoking pot pretty heavy. I really became what I call brain dead. I couldn't articulate. My memory was shot to hell. So God guided me to this book called The Science of the Spoken Word. Now, this book is really cool because what it does, it brings up invocations to the violet flame. Now, it's said on here, if you really do the invocations, you will get off your drug habit. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm in, right? All it's going to cost me is the book and effort. So I went through the book. It's called The Science of the Spoken Word by Mark Prophet, Elizabeth Prophet. And I took out the decrees or the chants that really meant something to me that was invoking the violet flame. So I made my own little book after I went through the whole book. And I had about 15 different decrees. And I dedicated myself that I'm going to read these in the morning and at night. Now, in the book, it says, you should do each decree 3 times using the power of the spoken word. But if you did it 33 times, that was the ultimate. So I did them in the morning, probably took me 15, 20 minutes. And then at night, 15, 20 minutes. And then that weekend, I decided I'm going to commit the whole weekend chanting the violet flame and see what happens. So I went out to the backyard and I took a jar of 33 pennies because I was not going to lose count. And I did it all weekend. Now, they call also the violet flame the singing flame because it cleans up your cells, your atoms, your molecules. And the end of that Sunday night, I was very quiet and I had my eyes closed in the bedroom, and I would open them up and I would see nothing but violet, but I could feel my body hummed. It was a higher vibration. It was cleaner and clearer. My mind snapped back that quickly. I knew where I was going spiritually. It was wonderful. It was amazing. And I had to draw away from my friends because they didn't recognize the change. And it didn't take them that long, maybe 3 or 4 days to realize that I wasn't the same person as I was. And to me, that is how strong the violet flame is. Now, I use it when I feel I'm being psychically attacked to clean up my energy. If I'm angry at somebody, I'll call the violet flame. Or if somebody's angry at me, I will call forth the violet flame to break up that anger. I can call it around other people to help them transmute their anger. If there is an entity living, a dark entity, any entity living in your house, and you want to get rid of it, you call the violet flame through it, because that entity, if it is dark, cannot stay. It has to go. But you just don't want to toss them out of your house, right? So I would also call to Michael the Archangel to tie and bind this entity. You send them through the violet flame to clean up their energy and then back to God. And then fill that space with an angel of love, joy, whatever. So the violet flame I experienced is very, very powerful, and it's part of my life. So now, after going through the mental, through this person's mental illness and still going through it, I had the thoughts like, okay, what would happen if I started chanting for 5 minutes once a day and calling forth the violet flame for this person? Now, I would say on a most normal person, it would be fine. It would help transmute them. It would raise their energy and help them get off whatever their addiction is. But it also gets rid of the demons. So when I did it for this person who I love dearly, that's why I would make the effort, I would notice that they would remain balanced for about 4 or 5 hours, and then they would flip and go wacko. Now, that's not quite the result that I am looking for. And again, when you do the work, you've got to pay attention to who you are doing the work on. So I stopped doing that. I stopped giving it energy. Instead, I started imagining that this person, wherever they walked, their house, their car, whatever they are in, their shoes, was filled with hematite, the energy of hematite, which is a very, very grounding stone. And I can honestly say, just doing that, I am seeing some nice results. Now, I'm not saying that they're not still cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, because they are. But when you got to take what you can get. And I am seeing some results, so I'm going to keep doing that. Now, I want to give you some tips, okay? Because being around somebody who's bipolar, manic, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, insane. It's very, very hard. And it takes a lot out of you. You are under post-traumatic stress, and sometimes you're in darn shock because you're not expecting that roller coaster ride. If you have to, go buy some over-the-counter sleeping pills, and if you have to take one at night so you get a good night rest, it's okay. Don't get addicted to them, but every now and then use them. Get to know your local police department that's going to be dealing with these mentally ill people. And now, of course, this is depending on how bad they are. But my cousin, who was pretty bad, really went, whoo, he was really way out there. Now, what I did, because I was really grateful that when we did have police altercations, the police handled him in a very loving, kind way. So when it was all done, I actually brought them donuts and I said, thank you. I appreciate what you did, and let them know I appreciated them. So if it ever happened again, they'd be just as kind. You know what I mean? So now you're building rapport. And if you don't want to give them donuts, and go give them something else that'll be a treat for them, okay? Use your imagination. Now, if you're lucky enough to get those your mentally challenged person into a psychic facility, no, unless they are really, really bad, that they're only going to keep them short term, 3 days, 5 days, then they let them out. And what they let them out, there are no backup programs for these people. There's no one coming around and saying, are you taking your meds? Are you still balanced? None of that. They are out on their own, and it's set up to failure. Now, when I learned that this special person, my cousin, was getting out, I literally called the police department the next day and said, you know who so and so is? And they went, yeah, we do. I go, well, he's getting out tomorrow, and I need to have this little talk with you. And, it's just for future purposes, and talk about what needs to be talked about. Now, first off, and I really tried to do this with humor, okay? First off, if this person ever gets so bad that you have to use a gun, can you shoot him in the legs? He's got really big calves. It would slow him down. That would be perfect, and he would still be breathing. Now, at this point, the cop started laughing hysterically. And he goes, I know, this isn't funny, but this is funny. And I go, look, I put it in a funny way, but I mean it. If you got to shoot at the legs. Okay. So now we're having a nice conversation. He goes, but we have other methods that aren't lethal. And it's like, please tell me more. Now, as he's talking, in my mind, because it's where I go sometimes, I felt like I'm on Jeopardy. Was that Jeopardy? Maybe Wheel of Fortune. Okay. All right. One. Okay, Cathy. Door number 1 is we have this really cool rifle that shoots bean bags. It's not going to kill him, but it will knock him down, and it'll hurt like hell, but he'll be alive. Really? Well, I have to say I like that one. He's alive. That's pretty cool. Okay, we're going to keep that one in mind. Now, what else do you got? And then in my mind, it's like, all right, Cathy, and door number 2, what we have for you are the tasers. Cool, tasers. Well, pray tell, the last time he was tasered, it didn't work. Of course, the cop says, well, that's because that was a security guard and he was an amateur. But if you get it at the right setting, he's down. Cool. I like tasers at the right setting then. So we've got a rifle that shoots bean bags. Cool. And then we've got the tasers. Awesome. I like this. And then he goes, and you know what else we have? We have oh my God, where am I going brain dead on this? Shields. Okay, we've got shields. And I'm started laughing. I go, shields, are you kidding me? My cousin is 280 pounds. He's a world-class black belt martial artist teacher, and you think shields are going to take him down? Matter of fact, every time y'all came around, he had no less than 8 police officers show up. So really, I don't know about the shields, but the beanbag, I thought that was cool, and I'm sure you'll have good luck with the tasers. Okay, now what I just did was get them to think about non-lethal ways and other ways they can get control of somebody without really, really killing them. Okay. And you got to put that thought out there. So after, we're done talking, he goes, well, I'll make sure the next shift knows about this. And I told him, I go, God, I hope I don't have to call you again. I'm sure they feel the same way. So, um, again, you want to know who these people are. You want to make them your friends because you want them to treat your loved one with kindness. And all you're doing is, you're being proactive. And it's really important. So, again, if you're going to do the energy work, pay attention to how they act. Are they more kinder? Are they irritated? And then you have to go back down accordingly. But so far, I haven't seen any negative effects at all with putting hematite under everything this person is around. Now, this has not been easy for me to talk about this. I was going to do it this morning and I just couldn't do it. Sometimes you have to take the hit for the team and be that one person that this person can talk to, even though it's cray cray, but at least you've got some kind of exchange going on so they're not totally out of everybody's life. It is important. And don't take it seriously. And one of the hardest things you can do is not take it to heart. And that will be hard because I can say a lot of this times, I've been going through PTSD, post traumatic stress, and shock, because it is a shock to see where they were and where they went to. So I will keep you informed on any new energy work that I find that works, because this is all there is left. Like I said, you can't depend on the police, you can't depend on the medical field, you can't depend on the psychiatrist or the state. Oh my God. You have to depend on yourself. And, doing energy work is what I call a last ditch effort. When people come into me to get a healing, it's because they've done everything else they can in the medical field and it didn't work. So I'm like, oh, when they come to me, it's like, well, why not? Yeah, why not? You'd be amazed on what works. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. And if you know somebody that is experiencing somebody that's bipolar or manic, maybe this will help them out. And I saw something really quick from Rosie O'Donnell that she said now her daughter is a meth head, unfortunately. And, of course, everybody's saying all kinds of negative things. And one thing she said is, when you're dealing with mental illness, you really don't know what to do. And I went, oh, honey, you are spot on. You are so right. So remember that. And when you can, guys, pamper yourself a little bit. Do something nice for you, whether it's treating yourself for dinner, taking a hot, sudsy bath with, bring a movie in with you, whatever. Do something nice for you. And have someone else to talk to that you can share this with. And believe me, when you share what you're going through with people, you're going to find other people that either have gone through that same thing or they're going through it now and they understand. And it's really important to have a support group. All right, guys, I've talked long enough. And on that note, I hope it helped you, and have a lovely weekend, and we'll see you again. Aloha.